everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in for our Where to Wheelock. This week, I'm so excited because, it's the day after elections here in New York City, and where better to get away to than St. Maarten. So I'm here with Pablo Yehuda, and we are going live to St. Maarten. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, Erin. I'm really glad to be here in this amazing island. And, my name is Pablo Yehuda. I'm a real estate agent here. I run an office with 4 people, and I'm really passionate about what I do here.
Yes. And okay, we just have to start this the right way. Everybody, he just showed me his view, and I wish I could just teleport. Can you please show everyone the view? Because this is not what I would have expected for St. Maarten.
Yeah, it's there's this Caribbean vibe, which is pretty cool. This is kind of considered a busy section of the island. That's what it looks like when it's busy.
Oh my gosh. So that is busy. So it's clearly the New York City speed there as well.
Exactly. No, I mean, they kind of do. They don't they don't go really fast here, which is kind of cool about the Caribbean, You have to adapt a little bit and kind of let go. That's the Caribbean.
Well, I would not do very well. I keep being told by people just to let go a little. So maybe I need a little Caribbean in me. Okay, so tell me, who is moving to St. Maarten? Why are people moving there?
So there's the population that comes to work, but I can say 50% of people that actually live here are people that A, work remotely, or B, they actually spend a lot of time here during the winter, So it's very mixed, especially because today we have the fiber optics here, so we can actually work remotely from here with your feet on the sand or in front of a swimming pool. The advantage of the Dutch side, it's very welcome to Americans in all other nations. So it's funny because it's very mixed. Like, there's the Dutch office, we have like 5 agents and all of them are from different places, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The accents mix it up. So I'm from Brazil. So, I blend in really well. So it's a very cosmopolitan island. So that's why everybody has a place here, which is cool, So.
Yeah. And it seems like people probably do go there for just a change in lifestyle.
Yeah, they come here. It's a very easy flight to get. It's like one direct flight. They spend maybe sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks here just to cool off from the busy cities. And then they find themselves, just to give you an idea, there's 37 beaches around St. Maarten. So there's a lot of
37 beaches?
Yes.
What is that, like every 100 people get a beach?
Kind of, because we have a population of 77,000. So, I mean, you have beaches for everybody. And also, like, there's all the beaches are different from each other. So, like, there's this wild one, there's nobody around. There's this busy one with like the bars. So, everyone is going to find his own like beach, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Do you feel like St. Maarten is more of a second home type of market?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of people that actually buy property here because the advantage of it's like you can actually rent it out when you're not here. So actually the property pays for itself because when you're not here, you just rent it out to tourists. And then when you come, you block the dates for 2 weeks or maybe a month or 2. And then you definitely come here to just enjoy. So it comes out, you don't spend a lot, almost nothing, because you can pay the expenses of the property like for itself. So it's very attractive for everybody.
Well, I always love a good investment. So let's talk more about that. So I'm trying to figure out, is there like a certain block of time that is the rental time there, right? Like there's the high season for renting it out. Yes?
Yes.
When would that be?
That's a very good question because that, I always tell my clients that they have to make their numbers in 5 to 6 months, right? So we have the low season.
Good to know.
Yeah, it is because it's important to tell them that there will be a low season and there will be less rentals. So we should not expect like the full occupancy the whole year. So you're looking at when it started getting cold in North America, which is the main customer that comes to St. Maarten, is like from all the way to New York up to Charlotte, because Miami is always hot. So we don't have a lot of people from there.
Yeah.
But in beginning of December up to April, that's when the high season kicks in, and then you have May and June, which is kind of like in between, it's kind of spring season, and in July and August we get the European people, like people from Holland, from France. That's when. So you kind of have to work it out the numbers in about 5 months. That's I always tell my clients this, which it's a safe investment,
Yeah. Okay. And then, so people that are living there, what are the people that are living there doing, I guess? Like if someone was thinking about relocating there for work, I feel like right now everybody could, because everybody's learning how to work from home. Yeah. So maybe that makes my question null and void. But other than that, like, are there certain types of work that's there?
Yeah, so it's tricky because it's
industry,
a small island.
That's the word I was looking for. Sorry.
Yeah, the industry. They're very limited in terms of industry. Like the tourism is a big thing, right? But you have to take in consideration that you have the low season. So for the same way it works when you buy a property, you want to rent it out. When you have a business here, you have to make your numbers in 5 to 6 months too, if you work on the tourism side, right? But insurance companies, lawyers, accountants, you're going to find here. What else? Architects and construction. You have a lot of space for that still in the market. But outside from that, you don't have a lot of options because everything is imported. So we don't generate a lot of things from the island. We don't export a lot of things, So you can come to work here. If you can work remotely, is the best scenario. If you don't have to be anywhere. But if you really need a job, that's kind of have to look at this type of industries like insurance. Insurance is a big business here because it's a lot of properties here.
Okay, that's interesting. So now, tell me about the lifestyles, because you mentioned that there's a lot of different types of beaches. So do you have an area that's more like city center and areas that are more desolate? Yeah.
It's funny because St. Maarten is divided in 2 countries, right? There's French side and Dutch side.
Yes.
It's 2 different countries, 2 different legislations. Like legally, it's completely different. It's a different conversation. Even when you're buying and selling a property, if you don't have the right, if you don't have the right cell phone plan, if you go to the Dutch side, you're going to pay a lot of money on the cell phone. So you have to have this roaming thing, which is pretty cool for a small island. But again, it's 2 different separate countries that live well together and blend together. So, in terms of living here, it's the Dutch side is more dynamic. There's more like a nightlife. It's more like American style. So you're going to find a lot of beach bars and, action, right? And there's Dutch side, you're going to see more beaches, this type of scenario, like where you're going to have full restaurants, like, people drinking around and just enjoying the beach, as opposed to the French side, which is cool. Like it's more like slow French style, they like a nice cuisine and, you enjoy, your restaurant, but everything is more calm. You don't see a lot of noise. So it's not better. It's just really is going to fit your personality. Some people like to now come to the Caribbean to just relax, or I'll come to the Caribbean to just enjoy all the way. So you have these options,
I'm just fascinated by this. So those are really the 2 main factors, because the island isn't that big. So that really is it. You have the more party central side or the more relaxed French side. And that's pick your poison. These are your 2 options. Okay. What are the price differences?
So, the first price difference is the currency, because the official currency on the Dutch side is the guilders, but they trade in dollars. So, US dollars would be fine. Now, in the French side, the natural is euros. So you already have an exchange rate here that is going to play around with your money. So you have to watch that, because sometimes like 1-1, which is great, but not recently. So the prices here, prices here give you an idea of like maybe a 2-bedroom apartment, well located, like close to the beach. We're looking at $350,000 to $400,000 US dollars. So it's about an apartment. Tell me.
Is that on one specific side?
This is the Dutch side, right? So you're looking at maybe $400 a square foot.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
And then out of curiosity, how much, So that's a nice place, and that's a place I could rent
It
out.
is.
So what would my monthly cost be there? Like,
So
I'm
you look,
assuming there's HOA fees or, yeah,
yeah, there's HOA fees. Now, the good thing about St. Martin is that there's no property taxes. It's already good.
no property taxes.
Yeah,
Gosh,
no
I
property
love
tax.
this.
I know. And there's also, it's even better, there's no capital gains, right? On the Dutch side.
No capital gains. That's
No.
perfect. Even better.
Yeah,
I
so
can
you
hear the
buy,
people running out of New York now.
for sure. So if you buy like, a property that's lower price, for resale like a couple of years after, then there's no capital gains at all. So
Yeah.
it's which is pretty cool. Again, the Dutch side is more than, and the best thing about for Americans and for Canadians and also English people is that they can actually get a loan with a local bank, and all they need is 35% cash down, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can get local bank 35% down on the Dutch side.
Yes. Now, the good thing about it is they're gonna lend you the money based on your tax return and your credit score, and they do not connect with the states in terms of banking. So, a U.S. bank will have the information of you borrowing here, which is pretty good because you can keep your invest because it's a separate island, a separate country, So they're gonna look at your tax returns, your credit score. If everything matches, they're gonna lend you the money. So basically, you just need 35% cash down for buying a property.
Okay. That's great to know. Does it work the same way on the French side?
No.
Okay, then we'll pause. We'll get to the French
Yeah,
side in a minute.
yeah.
Okay, so Dutch side, we're buying a home around $400 a square foot. We're going to get a
Yeah.
2-bedroom. Are these gated communities or
Yes, the gated communities and everything that I propose to my clients when they come from abroad, they want an investment property is actually some areas that you need to look for.
Yeah.
They have like a higher turnover in terms of tourists. Not just get any property because that's have to look at when we sell it, but it's gated communities, safe side where you're gonna have like nice restaurants around. You're gonna actually because a lot of the people they actually invest here for 2 reasons. They don't do just for the money, right? It's attractive for the money, but actually they want to come here and spend like
Yeah.
2 months and just relax, and that's the main reason why they're buying actually. So I try to like combine both of them. If I can get a great investment in a nice place, great. But if the budget's lower, we can always work it out a different option.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously this is perfect, right? Somebody wants a place to have an investment home. It's a quick hop, skip, and a jump flight away from the U.S.
It is.
So sorry, I'm only talking about us U.S.ers out there. So that's great. And then you can really make it pay for itself, right? Especially if you go there during the off season, which can be a great time to be there. Okay, so I love this. That's fabulous. So on that 2-bedroom, what are my monthlies going to be roughly? What should I expect to pay?
So you're looking at, let's say a 2-bedroom is about 1,100 square feet, right? Like water view.
Yeah.
Very, very well located. You're looking at maybe 400 to 450 in terms of HOA fees. There's no property taxes. The HOA fees covers the insurance for the exterior of the property, which is already great. So we're looking at maybe everything in maybe to $700 to $800 per month. And you're probably renting this unit at $2,500 per week. So that's
that was my next question.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
I'll do a better,
in it for probably.
I'll
like,
have a
wow.
better calculation. So let's say you rent it for $2,500 per week, right? 30% of that are like you taking from, that's what's cost you. That's basically what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get like a 70% return.
Yes. 70,
Let's
but
repeat that.
again, it's not the whole year you're gonna rent it out.
No.
So let's say you rented like for 5 months, right? So you're looking, let's say 2,000, just for sake. So we have like a good amount of money. So 30% of that is going to go for cost, like electricity, because electricity goes high because you're doing vacation rental. The HOA fees also in like the water. So it's doable to do a mortgage here. If you have 35% down, you pay for everything. Now one thing it's kind of like, it's not bad, but it's a challenge, which is the interest rate here is a bit higher than the average country. We're looking at maybe the lowest I've seen is 4.5%.
Okay.
yeah, but because the risk is higher, right? Like you have like a small island, so you don't rent it out the whole year. So you have to calculate that in factor. So
Yeah. But that's great though. I mean, this means you could have a vacation rental that you get to go enjoy and have other people pay off your mortgage.
that's fantastic.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
the goal, right? That's the only
it
goal
is.
for any
It is.
right, vacation property. I love it. Okay. Now, French side.
Okay.
So tell me all about that.
So remember when we went to Paris? It's kind of the same thing,
We
just like in a smaller
ah
place. Um,
okay.
yeah, people here, like in the French side, they tend to be very French. I could,
Mhm.
there's the best definition is actually French. It's there, like the French side is less dynamic, is more secluded. There's some areas where you're gonna find you're gonna rent out better your property, but the problem is like there's not all over the French side. There's like really like remote areas where there's a lot of concentration, so naturally the price goes up, right? And the places are smaller. The same property goes for 400 on that side can go to 450 with the same side, or maybe 500 to the same side in euros, right? So you have to take that in consideration because there's less inventory. So and at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 at night, everybody's everybody's at home or they're having a dinner somewhere. But there's no beach bars after 9 o'clock. Everything closed down. So it's a different pace. People that just like they like to spend the day on the beach, and then when they get to get it at home, they go for dinner, and 9:30 they're out. So that's kind of a type of um, people you're seeing.
Okay, so I feel like that is like the Naples version for France because in Naples, I feel like people just, 4 o'clock happy hour, 6 o'clock dinner versus New York where
There you
it's
go.
like 9 o'clock happy hour, 10 o'clock dinner. I'm kidding. That's a little bit of an extreme. No, but okay. So wow, that's so interesting. Okay. I would assume, I'm probably wrong, which is why I do this, so I can learn, that the Dutch side probably has a lot more investors and the French side is more home owners that live there year round?
No, which is funny because not
Wow.
really. No, it's the only thing is that the investors are French. You have as much investor you have in the Dutch side. It's just that because they're in the same country, they can actually borrow from the bank in Paris and actually buy it here. So everything's kind of the same country. So that allows French people to invest, but it's the same amount. I can't tell it's more. It's just like it's a different vibe. Like you know, it's all about the restaurants. Let's put it this way. The nightlife, which is cool about St. Maarten, is like you can live on the French side and go party on the Dutch side. And if you're tired of like too much party on that side, you can go to the French side to relax. So that's the beauty of the island. That's within 25 minutes drive.
Really?
Max.
That's crazy. So the French side is all about the restaurants.
It's all about the restaurants. All about like when you even when I go to like a beach restaurant again, everything is like the food is great because I don't know if you know the islands of St. Bart's, which is really close by.
Hmm.
So St. Bart's is a very rich clientele. Like so
Yeah.
the thing is like the airport here is one of the biggest in the Caribbean. Can actually allows like 737s to land. So people that go to St. Bart's, they have to land in St. Maarten, take a small plane and go to St. Bart. So sometimes they have to spend the night here, maybe spend 2 or 3 days. So they're very demanding in terms of like quality. And that's what's the good thing about St. Martin's. Like on both sides, they kind of like have to attend to this clientele. So the quality of service is great. The food is amazing. Croissants here are like fantastic. It's dangerous. It's
Wait, say that again. What's dangerous?
the
The
croissants
what?
and the boulangeries.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah, no.
yeah.
That would
So
be hard. I would have a really hard time having delicious croissants when I'm in an area that I could be in a bikini all the time. That
exactly, you
would
can have
not
both.
work. I know, exactly. You cannot have both. That's so interesting. Okay. So, so what you're telling me is you can go eat escargot on the beach in the
Yeah,
French side.
yeah. You can go just laying down for the whole day. Have people coming out with a beer, with the wine, or just hanging out there. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna have a nice dinner. or I can go party on the
Yeah.
that side. Depends where you feel like it. The good thing about it is like you have the flexibility to do anything you want here because people are very friendly. Everybody's on vacation except for me because I'm always working. But everybody's it's just I do visits with clients and they're in shorts and
Yeah.
which is and they are very wealthy, so there's nothing to do with the everybody here is on vacation. That's what's cool about. So there's some nice areas which is like you have like some very nice properties. You're going to have a lot of space on the French side you have more green. That's the difference. Like in the Dutch side you have more like buildings and more actions, more dynamic in terms of economy. But on the French side, have like different laws to build, so they tend to keep the place very, with very green. Let's put it this way. So some areas you're gonna have like lands where you're gonna buy properties with the minimum size is about 100,000 square feet of the land.
Oh, wow.
So that's the minimum, yeah. So you see like this very secluded properties, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you should bring that up, but Trump has a property here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and it's beachfront, and his house I think is about 170 square feet. And 11 bedrooms. So you have this place for both. You can have a small investment, and you can go all the way to the top. So.
Yeah. So besides Trump's home, what does luxury look like there?
Luxury.
And is it the same on both sides?
No, it's not the same on both sides. It's the
Ooh.
so French side have more space. The luxury, like
Okay.
you're gonna have this huge villas where it's breathtaking views because the area allows to it. So there's a place called Lowlands. They have about 400 lots, each one a minimum of 100,000 square feet. And they just increased now the buildable space. You can actually build a house of 100,000 square feet. It's like some max. You can. There's 10% of 10,000 square feet, which is the 10% of the land. And then you have space to do like this huge like bedrooms and this swimming pool like with infinity pools, and you see the ocean everywhere. So it's that's what luxury looks like. This in the Dutch side is a bit different because you have more buildings in next to each other. There's not a secluded area as you have on the French side. So I couldn't tell what's better. Just some properties are built on the waterfront. You have 30% of St. Maarten is built on the water, so we can actually enjoy. Some properties are actually beachfront. You just get out of the house and you're on the sand. So it's it rents really well too.
So is that more? I would have to assume, but I was wrong last time, that happens more on the Dutch side.
Yeah, it's definitely
just because you can have more homes on it if you don't need that much land.
Yeah, exactly.
To building ratio. Yeah.
Again, price goes up as we talk. We talk about the land. That's naturally the price goes up. On the Dutch side, you're gonna have it's more diversified in terms of investment. Because you can just buy like maybe a 2-bedroom apartment like a 250, 300, which is not big, but it's good enough because you're on vacation, right? And you can go all the way to luxury villas where you're gonna actually rent it out a lot because there's a lot of people that comes here. They don't have this vacation time. They take vacation whenever they want to. So this is a market. It's an ongoing market,
So what are the bigger homes, like the luxury homes on the Dutch side? What are they? How big? And what are we looking at in price points if you're like on the water versus more Midland? So
if you look at something on the water, maybe 4 to 5 bedrooms, you're looking at maybe between 800 and $1 million US.
Okay.
Right. So these houses, they typically have about 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
And usually divided into 2 floors. So some of them have like a dock where you can actually park your boat, which is great. Some communities here, there's a place called Simpson Bay Yacht Club where you actually you get out of your house and have your boat right next to you. And that's how they built, like one boat slip next to the other. So which is great because the HOA fees are higher, but you can actually park your boat in front of your house. So it's yeah.
Oh, wow. This is so fascinating. I didn't realize that there was such a difference between the two sides. I mean, it makes sense. You, I guess, have to be versed in the real estate to be able to work at both sides.
Yes, you have to be very bilingual because the French side really operate in French in French only. I mean, the Dutch side is more open to have if you speak English, that's enough for you to actually make a sale on the Dutch side or just operate there. The French side, you have different laws, so you really have to have like a professional card and then go through a training. And but it's not a better market; it's just different. Like naturally, we have a branch both places that we can actually go anywhere. But you really need
Yeah.
to know the laws of each place because it can be tricky, sometimes, especially with French laws because they love paperwork. So.
So what are the different laws? I'm curious if you could share a couple with us.
So different laws. Let me see. In terms of real estate or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So.
my gosh, yeah. I guess they run completely different. I'm sorry. You said that, and obviously I heard that, but I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, so we had an episode which is unheard of. It's the first time it happened in the history of St. Maarten, where because of COVID, they actually closed the borders, which never happened before. But it was a decision made by the government of France, right? So they put a container, they just blocked the roads. Because St. Maarten is like you have one road, one main road. Everything is around it, right? So if I'm driving, if I'm driving, somebody in front of me stop to talk with somebody else outside, they're gonna create a traffic jam. So you kind of have to kind of adjust because it's kind of a test, which is funny because sometimes you're behind a big truck and then you just are this slow and you have to calm down. But anyway, yeah, so they closed the borders like recently because of COVID. Now they reopen again, which was a great best thing. But the police is different, the laws are different. Even when you rented out the property, that can be tricky on the French side. So I really have to be careful how you rent and who you're renting to. The Dutch side is like the States, so they kind of have a policy: you don't pay the rent, there's a notice, and then you you take it from there. But on the French side, it can get really tricky. So you have to do a specific type of lease. There's naturally when you do vacation rental, you have to think about the taxes, which is different. The amount of tax is completely different. They have different tax structure. What else is different? I think.
So is it Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, is it different, like the length of rental? Are there rules? Like on the French side, you can only do like a 6-month lease or a 12-month lease versus Dutch side, you could do for 2 days.
No, not really. I mean, the island runs on tourism. So you have to, people are going to be open to it because if they start putting limits on that, they're going to create a problem. Like, so Airbnbs, any type of vacation rental, it's allowed. The only difference when you're doing long term, because some people like to have a nice ROI, and sometimes you can get a place with maybe a 10 to 12% ROI because you bought for like a lower price and then you rent it out well. So some type of leases in France, people can really abuse from it. So, and the French law is really, I'll say this in a nice term, socialist. so
yes.
So they really protect. No. I mean, they come from a mindset where they really protect the tenant.
Yeah.
Right. So you really have to be careful how you structure the lease. You cannot just do an empty property. You have to do like a furnished lease with 1 year, and you have to. I mean, we can guide anybody through the process. But on that side, you can have more flexibility because it's the economy is more dynamic. Like one thing you have to know about the French side is that the state of France has a first right of refusal in every single property they sell in the whole country. That means Pablo wants to buy from Marion. Yeah. So Pablo wants to buy from Marion, right? So we go to the notary. The notary is going to write up the sales and purchase agreement. After that, the notary is going to go to the government and say, hey, Pablo wants to buy from Marion. Are you guys okay with that? Are you going to bid on the property? If they say no, then we can go ahead and go through the sale. But if they say yes, then they're going to have to match the price we discussed.
Yeah.
Now it happens like zero, maybe not even 1% of the time. But because of that, you have a 2-month delay. If the government does not reply in 2 months, then we can go through the sale. So if today you make an offer in a property on the French side, French side only, we're looking at from the time of the first offer all the way to the keys, we're looking at 3 months and a half.
Okay. Yeah. That's like New York City co-ops.
without the lawyers.
Yeah, right. Um, so, and then on the Dutch side, is it just like a 2-week transaction?
Yeah, if it's a cash offer, then we can go to maybe 2 3 weeks, maybe a month. It's
Yeah.
easier because the notaries on the Dutch side, they can actually go through the sale. You don't need to have a lawyer.
Okay.
Now this is the good thing. Not the bad thing, but the downside of that is that the notaries, the closing costs are about 5% of the, no, sorry, 6% of the purchase price.
On French and Dutch side.
No, that's the Dutch side. That's 6% on the Dutch side, and 10% on the French side.
Yeah, because they have that stamp tax.
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's called a stamp tax, right? I think that's only what it's called in London.
It's a transfer tax that the local government charges. Even in Paris, about 7%. But in Sint Maarten, because I have a different collectivity, look at local government, they charge 8% of tax. So the notary gets 1.2, and there's a transfer tax. So it goes about 10%. Right? So yeah.
It's a great place to be a notary.
No, not really, because actually it's a great place to be a governor. Because because the notary is only getting 1%, 1.2% of the transaction. They just transfer all this money to the government. So that's how they play out on the French side. I mean, Dutch side is 6% with. I mean, that's everything in. Like, there's no other extra cost in that. So no surprise there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean, this is just blowing my mind. So this also goes back to why you have to work with the right agent, right? Because God forbid you go to the Dutch side, you meet some random schmo that doesn't really know what he's doing, and you want to see all of St. Maarten, and he takes you to the French side and messes something up, right? You don't want that. And also you have to work with an agent that actually knows their numbers and what to look for with investors. I mean, I knew you obviously before this conversation. I know you are very good with the investments and the numbers side and things like that. But I feel like more than anywhere, this place, you really need the right agent.
It does because there is, they recently you really have to look out for who you're working with because it's fairly easy to be an agent, right? And people just got here, they don't understand the law, especially when you buy a waterfront property on the French side where they change the zoning. So you kind of have to know where you're buying and who you're buying with, because you need to have like a condition to get insurance. You have to make sure that, because insurance is a big thing here, because the problem with the small island is not really the hurricane, because people think about hurricane, we do have hurricane season between, and that's a good time to talk about it. June 1st and December 1st, that's a hurricane season, right?
Okay.
The only action that we really get is between end of August up to October. That's when it's gonna get stressy. But the problem with the island is not actually the hurricane, because if you're insured, you're gonna rebuild the place, right? But if we have a problem like tourists that are not coming anymore, like COVID now, that's when it gets that's the risky part in my understanding. So when you buy a property, you have to make sure that's insurable, that you're getting the right insurance, that the zoning allows you for you to do whatever you want to do. So you really have to, like you said before, like it was a good point, like you have to have a good agent to look out for that. And the island is small, everybody can go in and out. There's a natural turnover also with the agents too. So they're people, right? It's like, they come and go, and you have to make sure that the guy's been there for a while, he knows what he's talking about.
And it's a small enough island. They could find you if you found them a bad home.
True. That's true. And the reputation goes, no, so it's a good point, because it's a small island, everybody doesn't know each other. And if you don't have a good reputation, then, the client will know very quickly.
Yeah. Can I actually ask you something? Because you said something, and I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say that you're usually going to rebuild?
When you have a hurricane, that let's say we have a hurricane and everything is destroyed. Let's say your property got destroyed for some reason. You have insurance, so you're going to rebuild, right? You're going to maybe.
Oh, okay. Typically they build them well enough that you don't have to rebuild it, though.
True, but we don't have the same
Hopefully.
laws. Yeah, we don't have the same laws in Florida where they have to kind of like improve the type of construction every year. which is great because they kind of learn from their mistakes. Because St. Maarten, it's a small island, everything is kind of like done locally. They don't actually have this law to have to. I mean, naturally you do it, but every time you're on beachfront, like you're gonna get water. At least water you're gonna get. Like, you can't avoid it, right? But if you're on a higher mountain, then if your house is like full concrete, well built, and I was here before and after hurricane, and I can tell you, like, the properties that got damaged, there was probably poorly built, or they're built on wood, or there's no, they kind of cheat on the construction. So when you buy a property, you really have to look for that too. Like, especially like high-end properties where have to know if it's just completely wood, because wood is more resistant, like it's more flexible, right? But if you have like a solid house of concrete, it's not going to go anywhere. That's 1 + 1 is 2. It's not complicated.
And are inspections common there?
So there's no inspections, mandatory inspections on both sides. The only mandatory inspections you have on the front side is termites, asbestos, and electricity, right? But on that side, you can hire like a private company to actually do an assessment and see if the house is good. In general, is in a co-op, then we know the structure. But in houses, you really have to be careful what you have there, because the foundation and this whole thing. Because again, it's a small island; it's built on sand. Some places.
Yeah. So I feel like but you can, like, even on the Dutch side, you can do an inspection if you want to.
Yeah, you can. And I recommend my clients to do it. We usually typically have this information already, but then before we go to the notary, we make sure that we have the whole paperwork done.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a whole different
My mind is blown. Whole different animal. Two whole different animals.
Yes, true.
I love that. Okay, so St. Maarten, go there for a couple months, rent it out for 5-6 months out of the year. Let everyone else who is enjoying the beautiful island and the amazing food, it sounds like, pay your mortgage. Fabulous investment place.
It is.
Or work from home. If you need to relocate, it also sounds like a beautiful place to go work from home. Why not, right?
Yeah, I have friends here that actually, the Americans, they work remotely. I mean, they spend the whole year here just on the computer and, feet in the swimming pool, enjoying the view, and so it became like a thing now, especially because of, COVID. Everybody's kind of looking for alternatives. And, again, if you need to go back to New York, you just take a flight. There's a direct flight, JetBlue, every Saturday from JFK, 3.5 hours, you're good to go, So there's no...
Simple.
Yeah, it is simple. It's simpler than you think, because it's. I was in Montreal about a month and a half ago, and then I forgot how easy it was. I got to JFK, straight flight, got here, and I'm home. It's you're surprised.
Wow. I do have a question. Yep. If people don't know you, you are a pretty big volleyball player.
Yes.
So
I was.
You used to be. So if somebody buys a home with you, will you give them one free volleyball lesson?
Oh, for sure. Me and my wife.
There you go. Yes. His wife is the most fabulous woman ever. She's so lovely and sweet. She's gorgeous. They're the cutest couple. You have to meet both of them. If you ever go there, anybody, you have to meet both of them. They taught me how to not be afraid of the ball. Just going to say
That's
that.
True. Yeah. It's the main thing in the volleyball is, in here is I have beach volleyball courts, which is great. Can't complain.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so you heard it here first. You can always refer to this. If you buy with Pablo, you get one free volleyball lesson. I love it.
That's a deal.
And an amazing investment.
For sure. And
Absolutely.
It is. And it's very easy to also to manage it, because there's a lot of people that actually, this industry is like huge here, which is vacation rental. So they actually take care of the property for you. When you get here, you have the keys and you're good to go.
I love it. Anything else that we should all know?
So the temperature here, the average temperature here is 80 degrees.
Oh, good. Tell me that. 80 degrees?
That's average. That's all year. Huh?
As I'm sitting next to my heater, literally, like the one time I ducked over was because I needed to turn my heater up, and now you're going to tell me it's 80 degrees there? Thanks.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
All year.
So anytime you want to come, just let me know. Definitely
Oh my
gonna
gosh,
welcome you here.
definitely. I appreciate that. We'll have to do one of these in person and you can show us some of the beautiful real estate.
For sure. It's a pleasure.
Love it, love it. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'm going to post all of Pablo's information on this live. Please reach out to him with any of your questions, and of course, if you're looking for a fabulous investment or a place to relocate to where you can work from home with your feet in the water, like you said. I mean, how amazing.
How good is that?
I'm so jealous, and the food also. Ugh, I'm hungry. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Pablo,
Thank you very much.
and
It
yeah.
was a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. And please let me know where to go next. Bye, guys.